So good morning, everyone. So I'm Valérie Moreau, International Networks and EU Project Manager at Laval Mayenne Technopole in France. And I'm really delighted to welcome you today to our webinar, Is Open Innovation the Best Way to Foster Innovation? So this webinar is organized in the framework of the AT Virtual project and is supported by EBN, the European Business and Innovation Network. So I really want to thank our 6 speakers today with us. So Christian Travier from Laval Mayenne Technopole, Roberto Parrondo from CEI Asturias and Cristina van Roel, Paco from CEI Extremadura, Laura from Lazio Innova, and Sarah from K3Lab. Before we start our discussion about open innovation, I will give the floor to Roberto, who is going to tell us about the AT Virtual project. So Roberto, the floor is yours now.
Okay, thank you very much, Valerie. So good morning, everyone. My name is Roberto Parrondo. I am the Business Services Coordinator at CEI Asturias, which is the lead partner of this AT Virtual project. This project is funded by the Interreg, 5th Atlantic Space Program, and aims to increase safety and security in maritime operations by means of the acceleration of the digitalization process of the maritime safety training centers that have the responsibility to train staff teams who are going to perform risk operations in maritime conditions. So this digitalization process will allow the centers to introduce and implement cutting-edge technologies related to Internet of Things, big data analytics, and vision technologies in simulation-trained based systems by means of collaborating with the startups from the Atlantic space in an open innovation scale. So in order to do that, the project is formed by 3 specific phases. The first one is the diagnosis. We need to know what is the level of digitalization of these centers. We need to know what type of needs they have, and also to define the challenges that are going to be included in the different goals. The goals, everyone focus on one specific data technologies, vision technologies, big data analytics, and Internet of Things. So in this case, these calls are addressed to startups from the Atlantic space so that they can propose solutions to the previously defined challenges, and also the implementation once the teams between the centers and the startups have been completed. So in this case, the project will give these teams methodologies, also these webinars, so that they can speed up the process, okay? So just to finish my presentation, I would like to introduce the rest of the partners of this AT Virtual project. We have 3 specific type of partners. The Maritime Safety Training Centers, which are basically the key actors, since they are going to have a very specific role in the 3 phases. So in this regard, we count on the participation of Jovellanos Center in Spain, and also the Munster Technological University from Cork in Ireland, big business innovation centers, which also very, very important, since they assume the responsibility to encourage, to stimulate the participation of the local community of startups in the different calls. And last but not least, the Tecnalia Foundation, which is one of the largest R&D performers in Europe. And in this case, they are going to work mainly in the diagnosis stage of the maritime safety training centers, and also they're going to assist these centers and the startups in the definition and the implementation of the solution. So that would be all by my side. Okay, this is a short presentation of the AT Virtual project. So Valerie, I'm going to pass the floor to you.
Thank you, Roberto. So now we will start our webinar, and we will welcome Christian Travier from Laval Mayenne Technopole, and he's going to give us a thorough introduction about open innovation.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Christian Travier. I'm the head of the Laval Mayenne Technopole Science Park in the Western France, and a big also member of EBN. So, what is open innovation? Open innovation is a long, now it's been quite common for the last 10 years, but it's not so long ago, in the beginning of the years the 2000, that started open innovation concept through the Professor Chess program. But I'm not going to go back too much to that precise story, but give you a broader perspective by showing you the differences in innovation concept from the 60s. In the 60s and 70s, the innovation was mainly driven by technical persons, the engineers. What was important was the product, and the process was rather linear. And the most important thing was to succeed in the industrial process, to produce mass production of innovative products. Then in the 80s and 90s, marketing became important, and the businesses started to have put more importance on the image of the product. And the process was more listening to the customers and going back to the engineers to derive new innovative products. And the key success factor at that time was more the publicity. Then the internet revolution in the beginning of this century changed another time the game. The key person now was the web developer or the designer, and most innovation were service innovation. And now the people started to learn a new way, a new process, a more iterative process to innovate, listening to the customers, putting prototypes, testing, changing, and optimizing the product in a loop. And of course, the key success was to be on the internet and to push innovation through internet. And more recently, starting in the beginning of 2010 and still now, innovation becomes more and more collaborative approach. It's becoming so complex that we need to have people from different perspectives, different technical backgrounds, and different fields to integrate together to derive new products. And now the key person is the coordinator of the group, the one that is able to keep everyone together. And also at some point, the lawyer becomes important, because when you work with a group of people from different organizations, it is important to write precise agreements. And the key value is really the customer satisfaction. Everything is made to satisfy the customer. And the process is more like in a star, where there is a lot of connections coming back to a central point. And the key factor is the team. You have to have the best persons able to work together. So as you see, innovation is evolved. It doesn't mean that through this evolution we forgot the old manner. It's just that we integrated all of them, and it has become more and more complex. And so open innovation is how to work with others to develop the best product, to satisfy the customer, and to work as a team in a very coordinated manner. So here's a survey made from 112 French CEOs, where the people ask, what do you think open innovation is? And you see there are many definitions, but they all about the same, different way to look at that. So 66% thinks that open innovation is collaboration with research center, which is, but it's not the only type of collaboration. 53% thinks that open innovation is about integrating clients, customers in the process of innovation. 44% believe that open innovation is focused on designing new products together with others. 40% thinks that open innovation is collaborating with suppliers. 32% thinks that open innovation is about working with startups that brings innovation bricks to your product. And 24% thinks that open innovation is about collaborative research made among a group of companies. So all these definitions are true. All these angles are correct, and they just showed how the different facets, the different aspects of open innovation. Because the real meaning of open innovation is to work with an entire ecosystem around the company, and it starts from the very inner center with the employees that should be associated to the innovation process. All employees, not only the one in the R&D department, the marketing, the production, the sales, even the financial department can be involved in innovative process in the company. So then, of course, there are organizations like us, the big Business Innovation Center, economic development support for companies that are a first organization that is ready to help company that want to open up. And then, of course, the suppliers are very important, because suppliers can bring themselves innovation, because they propose new materials, new products, new way to make things, and then by using them, the company can improve also its product or its process. The clients, as we already said, is very important, because the clients have ideas, clients have needs, clients have pains, and when they have a way to share this with the company, it's a lot interesting, is a source of innovation. And even you can go further by associating clients in collective process to make innovation. It's named crowdfunding, crowd sourcing of ideas and processes. Then, of course, business networks of all types. You have many business networks at local, regional, and national levels for company, either in the same sector or in different sectors. And by exchanging, networking with others, it's a good way to have new ideas. Students are very nice way to have a new look on your company, because when you have students working as interns, for example, they can bring the freshness and the new ideas from their generation to the company. Then, of course, startups in your area, or startups in anywhere, from have a very specific, narrow competences that can really bring a lot of innovative tools in the design process. And then, of course, other companies, because you can, if you are specialized in mechanics, for example, you could collaborate with an electronical company and bring together a new connected IoT product. And of course, when the technical difficulty is higher, you could go and collaborate with technical centers that are specialized in some specific fields, or even more advanced research at the university labs. And all these this ecosystem together, of course, is linked through the internet, because you can through the internet find a lot of infos, a lot of available resources, and also you can find where are the people you need. So open innovation is all about this putting together this ecosystem and working with the right person at the right moment. A few rules to succeed. There are many, but here I chose 4. First is that the first rule is go out of your office. There is no way, it's not possible to work with others if you stay all the time in your company and you focus on your problems. It's by going out that you meet new people, that you meet opportunities, and that you let you the chance to really make improvements and make big steps. So also you need to listen and to talk to different people. If you stay within your peers, with the people that do the same thing as you do, with always the same people, there is a limit of the ideas you can listen to. If you go out and talk to different people, even people that you think they're not relevant to you, you might they might give you some good ideas, and you might find new opportunities. Collaborating with others is based on trust. Of course, there will be contracts, there will be agreements, there will be very legal procedures, but first you need trust, because if you don't have trust, it will be difficult on day-to-day to work with others. So trust is a very important ingredient of success. And the fourth rule is that when you work with others, you should be as clear, as pragmatic as possible, because you should be clear on what are your goals, you should be clear on what are your expectations, you should be clear on when you disagree, or when you're not aligned with the partner. And if you don't be clear enough, you will have problems later on. And the same, you should be as pragmatic as possible, not expect too much, expect practical things, set practical target, and check regularly what are the results in order to converge together with to the same goal. So a few examples from our practice. We have a few programs to help companies to practice open innovation in a different way. The first program is called Apollo, and it's a program where we help companies to listen to the market, to listen to their customers, to listen to what are the expectations of the prospects and customers. And here is an example of a company that was doing building framing, both metal and wood framing. And this company, by listening to the customers, understood that in order to differentiate from others, they should not only build and product framing, but they should also sell office spaces. And so they started to change their mind and to produce a complete designed office space, modular office space with the same technology and same production line that they used to do for building framing. So they changed the positioning on the market. The second example is from a program we have. It's called the Challenge Competence, that is relying on students that work for 1 week. A group of 4 students work for 1 week for a company to propose new ideas. The students, from their competences, look and think about the company and propose new competences. And here's an example with a company that was doing training to train people to fight against fire using traditional fire extinguisher. And the students that were mastering in virtual reality proposed that the training could be done through augmented reality. And as you see here on the picture, the guy is a real fire extinguisher in the hand, but the fire is completely virtual and is seen through a virtual reality mask using augmented reality. So the fire is virtual, it is projected upon the real scene that you can see. So that's in that way the training could be done in situ whenever the people are working, and not only the training center. The third program we have is called the Mission Exploration. So it's about startup scouting or a laboratory scouting to look for precise competences, a precise technology brick where it is. So here is an example of a company that didn't go through this program, but they could have. So it's just an example of what you can do. This company is a big company that is doing all type of tests for farmers, testing everything to check the wealth of the animals and every type of testing. And they had a problem to test the cows for a disease that is called the mastitis. And this disease, you need to do individual tests, and it takes a long time and it costs a lot. And so by collaborating with the university in Belgium, they could develop a new type of test where you can test the whole cows of the farm by just doing a DNA analysis in the milk in the tank. The milk in the tank is melt from the whole cows, and by taking a sample and analyzing it through DNA, then they could evaluate whether there is one cow or the other that is sick. So this improved a lot and was a faster and easier way and better, more precise to do the testing. And this was only possible through the collaboration with the university. So open innovation is for everybody. Open innovation is for every company, and you should just understand and try to look for with which partner can you collaborate. Will it be with students, with your clients, with the technical center, with the university, depending on the sector you're working, depending on the status of your company, there is always an open road for you. Thank you for listening, and now you will have a more detailed presentation also from the different partners that are present here to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christian, for these very conferences and for a presentation. So indeed, we are going to carry on with next speakers, and we are going to share the programs they have developed and give some examples of companies who implemented open innovation methodologies. So you will be given tips and key factors of success. So our first speaker for the roundtable now is Sarah from K3 Lab, and she's going to tell us how she used open innovation to develop a product in the company. So Sarah, the floor is yours now.
Yeah, thanks, Valerie. Yeah, my name is Sarah Carniello, and I am the founder and the CEO of K3 Lab.
Here we are. Okay.
Yeah, I am the founder and CEO of K3 Lab. We are a startup based in Graz. We were founded in 2020, so quite a new company with a very ambitious idea and a product. Can you go to the next slide, please? It's mainly two founders. It's me and David Martinez. So it's quite an international team. I come from Italy, he comes from Spain. We met in Graz. We have also other team members from other countries, European countries, and from Austria, of course. And what we want is to bring the sustainable product development and sustainable technologies to everybody, so to make them accessible, to make them quick and easy to implement. And we want to reach it also through a good network of partners in the innovation and in the implementation. Next slide, please. Our main project and our product idea is aims to tackle one of the biggest problems that we have now in the Western world, and that is the packaging waste. You see here some numbers, and you all know that we produce too much waste, then we don't know how to manage it, and even today, we manage to recycle only 17% of it worldwide. And it's not only a problem for the environment, it's also a problem for the economy. We waste a lot of money, a lot of material that could be reused and fed into the loops. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation estimates $120 billion lost every year just in material that is disposed instead of reused or recycled. Next slide, please. So what we propose is to make the process for recovery leaner and faster in the implementation. And in this way, we want to enable higher recycling rates everywhere in a faster, cost-effective way. And we want to achieve it with Recube, which is our product. Next slide. Recube is a container that you will see later on. And the idea is to put this container accessible, so in the streets or in big public points, where the people can bring their waste, the packaging waste from the homes, and the waste is measured. And the people get a feedback on what they deliver. The waste is measured, so the operator and the waste companies can also establish kind of personalized or customized waste fees as a pay-as-you-throw system or a rewarding system to motivate the citizens to deliver good recycling waste. Recube works unmanned on the streets, so it's fully autonomous, and is thought as a network of machines on the public soil. So the customer of K3 Lab, that would be the machine operator, the waste company, or the municipality, or the facility management. They will have access, of course, a remote connection to the machine, regular monitoring of the status of the machine, of the waste that is going there, and so on. But it's all said through IoT and IT systems. And on the other side of the chain, we have the recyclers that will use the output materials, and they can also be directly connected to know when the material is ready to pick up and where, and to optimize their collection routes. So next slide. Here is Recube, as I mentioned. So you see it has the size of a ship container, and it's there, say, on the public soil, public ground, accessible for everybody. And the users, that would be citizens, bring the bags. The bags have a barcode to enable the identification, and they just deliver the bags. And the machine measures what's inside and separates and sorts to a purity level that makes possible to go directly into the recycling loop without further steps. You see here on the left some of the technologies we have. We use machine visions and we use robotics for sorting. We have a fully automated machine, so there's a lot of topics related to automation, IoT, also machine learning to optimize not only that machine, but also the whole network of machines based on data from the field. And of course, we have a lot of data analytics. So when we started to ideate this product, it was clear that there's no company, probably not even big companies, can develop such a thing alone. So we had to build up a network of partners. We can even say it's a consortium, a group of partners working together on that machine. And one key aspect when you want to do this kind of open innovation is to be clear with yourself what you want to keep for you. What is your core competence that you don't want to give up to others, and what are you available or open to outsource or to do together with others. And for us, we decided, okay, we want to focus on a system integration, and we keep some process steps inside the machine that make possible that the process is so compact and so lean also inside the machine. So we want to develop these few steps internally. And with these steps, we don't work with others, we don't disclose. But a lot of topics around are there, and some also require some R&D. So some are, say, just outsourced, others are longer cooperation. But a lot of topics related, for example, to IoT or machine learning, we can outsource and we can do together with others. And to have clear in mind what you want to share and what you want to keep for yourself, it's a very important point if you want to go to open innovation. Also, what we wanted to keep for ourselves, for example, is the selection of the technologies we have inside. So this is something we do before and set for on our own, and then we can discuss with others. But at the end, we will be the product owner, so we will decide what is inside. So this is an important point. Next slide, please. Yeah, another aspect of this innovation is it's not only product, technical product. The innovation embraces really many aspects, from customer relationships, because we want to involve the users in the process, to channels. Just an example, so since the machine is thought to be publicly accessible, this is also a new channel. So the machine is not hidden in some plans, is not hidden among experts. So we have a lot of possibilities to use other channels. Or we can offer additional services to the operators, to the companies involved, also to the recyclers, for example, this notification of the material. So this is also one interesting thing. It's not only about the technical aspects of the product. There are many more aspects that are there. And in some of the aspects, we decided also to go with partners. And when we talk about networks, of course, is one aspect of the innovation. When we talk about additional services, many of these services are related to data and IoT services. So we'll do that with industrial partners that help us in that. Next slide. Yeah, here, this is to say our closing slide, and you see the main partners that we have already on board. We have some companies, for example, Rica Labs or Stetska or Teamatics. They are 3 companies based in Austria and in Slovenia. Different size, small to medium size. And they were happy to work with us mainly on data topics, on data science topic and IoT. So there we have kind of industrial partnerships But then we have also the Ioneum Research and FIU and NEOM. They are two institutions here in Graz. Academic, or FIU NEOM is a university, and Ioneum Research is a transfer center. So the mission is to transfer technology to companies. And here, of course, we do something more R&D topics. And it was also nice to see that they are open to work also with small companies that cannot afford so big projects, but have interesting ideas. And also very important, you see here 3 clusters or incubators. Science Park, Green Tech Cluster, and Silicon Alps, they all have a mission to connect partners and to boost open innovation in this way. So we are in these clusters, Green Tech Cluster of Silicon Alps, with a lot of companies. We have the chance to present our ideas, to contact partners, to meet. So that's a very powerful tool for us to get in touch with the right partners. And once we get in touch, we have also some support. There's some third party that can help us in define the right conditions or find the best funding for that, so to get started with the cooperation. And this is very useful also for a small company like ours. Yeah, so that's a bit our experience with open innovation.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for sharing your experience with your project and for giving your views about how to deal with this collaboration within open innovation. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Valerie.
Now we welcome Cristina van Roel from CEI Asturias, who is going to share her experience about open innovation. So Cristina, the floor is yours now.
Thank you very much, Valerie, and thank you to everybody. Thank you for letting us to share our experiences as CEI Asturias, as Business Innovation Center Asturias. I'm also a proud member of AT Virtual Program. So let me start by saying that we have been talking about, open innovation. Sorry, I have a problem with, I cannot, yeah. So we have been talking about open innovation and different views, and thank you to Terry for making this very extraordinary introduction on open innovation, because everything in the end is about creating and building an ecosystem when different actors, different stakeholders are emerging. So our role is to really be a kind of connector. So our idea about open innovation is always creating a better ecosystem for our clients, for our startup companies. So let me start also by saying that for many of you, this figure of Business Innovation Center is very familiar. Probably you have one center in your region, but for others, it should be a discovery process. So our mission in Asturias, our mission on the north region of Asturias is to promote modernification and diversification of the business environment here. For this, we provide a kind of services related to global support, to innovative entrepreneurs, but of course, we also act at the beginning of the value chain of the entrepreneurship, which is also the innovation culture and the valorization of the technology. This is important because when you approach an initiative of open innovation, it should be considered where is the aim, where is the object, what is the final goal of the company which is creating this initiative, or what is the final objective we would like to pursue with it. And our role, as I mentioned before, is to create this kind of better ecosystem for startups. So we understand ourselves, we understand Business Innovation Center as a kind of this role of connectors, of building common spaces for interaction between, of course, startups, entrepreneurs, technological centers, scientific parks, investors, public sector. But in the case of open innovation, we are also thinking in two kinds of specific actors. We are thinking on the corporates, we are thinking on those companies who are not really startups who have an established situation, who are sometimes leader of their markets and have this kind of traction power. And we are thinking of the other side, these startups, thinking on entrepreneurs, thinking on technology-based companies, thinking on those kind of job people with no very long trajectory. So we always think that in the interaction between those corporates and between startups, there's so much thing to learn. There's so much things to really have added value for these interactions. So our programs of open innovation, our experience related to open innovation has always this catalyzer role. And we have also think on an approach which is based on challenges. As many of you know, for today, those days, for corporates, there are so many people thinking on how to interact with the startups that so many corporates have developed a kind of internal and own programs for relationship with those startups. There are a lot of corporates who have internal accelerator programs or who really provides internal intra-entrepreneurship programs. But our idea of open innovation is create those spaces for those companies who don't have the power to really build a strategy for themselves. So we always think on interact, on operate as interface, or intermediate entity administration. So let me start by explaining a little bit more, which is our main experience, which is the Open Innovation 4.0, which is a program managed here in Asturias in the framework of the Asturias Digital Innovation Hub. Probably many of you are very familiar with this idea of Digital Innovation Hub. Let's speak about a hub who has, in the end, the objective of promoting digitalization and promoting those advanced competences in fields of digitalization, everything which is related to systems of information and, with the digital. So in the framework of the Asturias Digital Innovation Hub, we have developed this program of open innovation together with the regional ministry, and we will talk after why it's so important to also involve the decision makers in the policy. We are also collaborating with the Regional Development Agency, which is the entity who is managing the overview of programs for SMEs. And of course, we are collaborating with the corporates, as you know, the main stakeholders. So our concept of open innovation and adapted to our reality is to provide this space of discovery. Sometimes the regional value chains for business are looking for partners in other parts of, in other continents, in other parts, and sometimes the solution to this problem, to their tech problem, probably could be also approached, in the regional context. So the main element of our program, one of the main elements, is this discovery process, to know each other, to allow people to talk, to create this kind of forum where everybody, speaks about competences, speaks about programs. Of course, as I mentioned before, to boost the digitalization in the regional industry. It's not only a program to really reinforce or to really strengthen the role of the startups. It's a program which is also based in strength, the leadership of the regional industry, working in innovation, having more competencies, having more possibilities to really acquire those innovation companies. Of course, from the size of the startups, we also need to speed up the growth of these new technology companies. Together with those corporates, we are really eager to open new markets for them, which is the final idea between this collaboration. And of course, for us, Asturias, as a region which is not really in the centers, in the business center, economic center of Europe, we act as a kind of peripheral region also. This idea of to have one program to attract talent to the region is important, because sometimes the elements to attract those talents are based, in communication, are based in some characteristic of the regional territories, and we would like that the openness to be collaborative with the startups company from the part of the multinationals and the tractor companies established in the region could be also, let's say, a kind of element of attraction of the talent. Why not a company could be based in Asturias based on this openness from the part of the corporates? So with all of these elements, we have built an initiative, which is, as I mentioned before, it's Open Innovation 4.0, sorry. And we have involved this kind of companies. All of them are leading companies in their markets, but we work in different verticals. We have working with transport company, we have worked in the agro-food, as for example, Cafento or Capsa. We work in the chemical sector as DuPont. We have worked in the energy, which is EDP, or of course ArcelorMittal, which is the lead company, the world and the global company in the iron and steel. So with all of this company, we have worked in identify technological changes, technological challenges. The process of the program is like identify those challenges, these challenges from the part of the corporates. With all of this, we create a call which is published, a call which is diffused, which is promoted for all the ecosystem, and try to dynamize, the sector to have really good options to provide the solutions to those companies. Then, after the selection of the startup from the part of the corporate, we work in the definition of the project. This is one of the key of the process, to work together with the help of mentors, with the help of experts, to build this collaborative, this co-creation program. And in the end, we have a plan, we have designed. This is why it's so important, the collaboration of the policymakers. We decide to build a call for proposals to finance the implementation of these common projects, these concrete projects. This means that the companies, both the startups and both the corporates, have this incentive to really implement, to have a demo, to have a pilot, to build a prototype in order to have something very tangible from the part of the open innovation. So till the moment, we have developed 3 editions of the program. We have involved 19 corporates, as I mentioned before, in very different sectors. We have received 130 proposals, almost 129, and we have also obtained a fund of about €500,000 to really implement and to make a reality from all these parts. So in the end, every work, every co-creation program within the corporate and within the startups is a kind of success in itself, because it has created something very tangible. We have created those, let's say, relationships, and for many of the companies, we have also created a different way to approach the collaboration with these young companies, with some startups company. So this was the example at the regional level. Let me also explain 2 different examples in other levels, which is, for example, this is the initiative Open Innovation, which is created by the National Association of CEs in Spain, so Business Innovation Center. As I mentioned before, all of us take part in the EBN family, but we also organize different activities on national chapters. So the national chapter in Spain is called ANCES, and as CEI Asturias, we are coordinating these initiatives at national level, which is also based in our experience as managers of the 4.0 initiative that I mentioned before. It's true that the approach is different because we are not so deep within the initiatives. Our role is to really act here as a kind of matchmaking, as a kind of interaction. Until the moment, we have mobilized more than 40 corporate challenges, and we have detected, we have identified almost 400 solutions from the part of the startups. It's a very different initiative, but who has also a lot of added value because the companies in each territory are able to connect with corporates which are based, far in other regions. So normally you will not have the opportunity to really connect with them. So let me conclude by saying that after so many years working in open innovation, we have detected some key aspects that I would like to discuss with you, and we will have probably time to discuss during the discussion time after the presentation. But let me explain a little bit what are these key aspects. First of all, the fact of build unstructured programs of open innovation, it's able to capture tractor companies that would like to experiment this idea of open innovation, but they don't have enough power, they don't have enough capacities to make them alone. So you propose unstructured programs, you say, okay, this is minimized, this is your role, these are your commitments, this is a very transparent process, and sometimes you are able to engage companies in this paradigm of open innovation who probably are sometimes far of experiencing for themselves. So this is one very added value of the program. The next element is that for being an interface, you really need to have the capacity to dynamize your community. It's not enough to have the capacity to connect to corporates. You need to have a community and a strong community around you who is able to really respond, who really provide quality added value proposals and solutions to those companies. So the power of the intermediate organizations is also very relevant. You need to take also into account that the reason behind for those companies, for those corporates to take part in the initiatives is very different. So you need to be really flexible. There are some companies who really would like to scout the ecosystem. There are others who have needs, technological needs, very short term, and they think this process is appropriate to really consider that the solution could be enhanced of some startup companies. So in the end, you really need to be adapted to those approaches and you need to be flexible. From the startup point of view, you also need to consider and to really think those companies and think on commercial growth, because in the end, it's not worth to approach an open innovation programs only thinking on, creating new technological solutions. They need to think in solutions to really grow, to really approach different markets, and to really have one thing which can be demo, which can be pilot, who can be a prototype, but in the end, the final aim to participate in open innovation programs is to really expand, is growth, is this kind of open new markets by the way of those corporates. You need also to think that the dialogue between the startups and the corporates, this exchange of values, it's also very important. Startups understand how corporates run. And on the other hand, the corporates also have a lot of learn from the flexibility, from the speed process that a technological company and startups has really inside. So you need to think that both companies are approaching different situations and both are in the process, it's a learning process for both of them. It's a two-way directions, not really only one direction. If it is a challenge-based program, the scope and the focus of the challenge is absolutely essential. As I mentioned before, the reason behind for each corporate to participate is different, and the scope and the focus of the challenge is also essential to really dynamize. There's no worth in creating a very tech challenge if you know that you will be approaching a different type of companies, a different type of commercial, let's say, more commercial startups, and on the contrary, it's also the same. One thing which is also essential is that once the selection is made, when the corporate is selecting the startup, the process is starting right now. You really need to provide assistance and help to the negotiation in times, in objectives, in the realistic approach of the negotiation for both parts. It's very important that both companies really agree in the way they are going, not only to carry out the project, but also in the milestone, in confidentiality issues, or really IP. Because as I mentioned also, the ownership of the results and try to respect and try to really put value in the pre-existing know-how from the part of both companies is also absolutely essential to really have a success in the program. And just to finalize, let me just say that open innovation programs have different challenges. I think the main important challenges for those programs is to really arrive to systematize the matchmaking and the contact with new agents, is try to think that this is not, you know, a one-shot program, but that you are opening the way of a new thing, a new way to approach innovation. Try to make permeable every channel on the corporates and departments and sensible for working with corporates. And in the end, thinking also in the scaling of the project. Try to overcome pure R&D project, the demo phase, the pilot phase, and trying to think in open new markets for those solutions who are co-created, who are co-developed. So I think I am almost done with the time. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be very grateful to really participate in the discussion and to answer to your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cristina. Thank you very much for this very interesting and concrete presentation that you just gave to us. So now we welcome Paco Pizarro from CIE Extremadura. And so Paco, you're going to tell us how you deal with open innovation in your region. Paco, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for your invitation to this webinar. Let me previously to introduce our organization. CIE Extremadura belongs to or take part of a bigger organization that is Fundecit PCTEX. Fundecit PCTEX is the innovation broker in the region of Extremadura, and we manage for the regional government a big project called Office for Innovation, O4I. And the O4I is the context where our open innovation program is born. In a large region, bigger than Netherlands or Belgium, with an only 1 million inhabitants, we have a very small enterprise tissue. No, we have small companies disseminated around all the territory. So our innovation broker activity has to be very dynamic and very interactive. No, so we couldn't work under an umbrella of linear innovation system or model, but also in an interactive and open innovation model. So we designed our own methodology, our O4I, with the 4 steps of innovation. The first one is identify challenges. So we are 10, 12 people in the street visiting companies every day. You know, we visit around 300 companies, 300 companies every year, talking with them and identifying what are their challenge for new market or new products or new processes in their companies. No, when we identify the challenges, we obtain 3 kinds of challenges. The first one are individual corporative challenges, and these challenges are treated under confidentiality or in an open innovation program, as we will go. The second one are industry challenges, challenges that affect more than companies in the same industry. And in this case, we elaborate reports, or we try to agglutinate the demand and the solution for this challenge. And the third one are structural or strategic challenges for the region. No, we identify opportunities for new industries in the region, or new lines of development, the regional development, new sectors or new activities, and we try to attract and stimulate initiatives to foster this new opportunity that we have identified. So our first step is the identification of challenges. The second one is the interchange. We create forums, tables, round tables, where we sit together, challengers and solution makers. Solution makers from our startup companies and from the research group of our university or the scientific or science and technology institutions in the region. So we put together the big company, the startup company, and the research groups, and we try to find a common solution. We try to find a solution for this challenge. In these conversations, in these talks between these agents, usually we establish the restrictions to the Optimus challenge or the Optimus solutions possible. With this interchange, the next step is the research, no, the investigate, no, together. We try to write a project through the solution is obtained at the end of the project. No, so we try to establish the scope of the work, because sometimes the solutions could be very wide or very big. So we try to establish what is the scope of a pilot or a scientific project or a R&D project in order to present this project in the fourth step to the public fund calls, could be around in European, national, or regional levels. So this itinerary, this process is done by us every day, every week, every month. No, it is always running this project, and through the project we are obtaining our results. No, by the way that we could identify many companies with challenges, but no a corporative policy of innovation management. We designed an open innovation program. This open innovation program tried to train our small and medium industries in the management of open innovation. So we trained the managers of the companies in the innovation processes, and then we started a call where the challenges was defined and communicated not only in the region but also through the network we belong, because our organization belongs to EURADA, belongs to EBN, the scientific IASP, the scientific parks network, etc. No, so our connection in Spain and in Europe allows us to communicate the challenges abroad and look for solutions for our companies. No, so our goal in this program, in this open innovation program, is an evolutionary goal. Our main goal, our primitive goal, was get medium and small industrial companies to have some tools for than big corporations for managing open innovation. But with the time, we identify that the big corps with corporative open innovation programs found it very, very difficult to find startups from peripheral region. We are a peripheral region. We are a region that is 300 kilometers from Madrid, from Lisbon, from Seville. So the big companies used to look for startups in the big technopoles in Barcelona, in Madrid, in Valencia, Malaga, but for them is difficult and expensive look for solutions in peripheral regions. No, so we realized that this was an opportunity for us in order to connect our startups with the big corporation that is not located in our region, or at least the innovation decisions are not taken in our region, but also in the big technopoles. No, so for our startups, the connection with competitive technopoles is something very, very demanded by them, that are our beneficiaries. So this is the secondary goal of our program. And the third one, in general, we realized that our companies miss to be connected with the most competitive poles. So we think that Europe is a distributed ecosystem. The technopoles model is more American than European. So we think that after 30 years of structural funds, you can find in Europe a very good university or a very good startup anywhere in a very complex network around Europe. So this European way needs that any node of this network, and we are a node of a big network, try to be connected with the rest of the network. So our work was connect our peripheral ecosystem with the whole European ecosystem, and this is the third goal. So we have done 4 editions of our open innovation calls. It's not so big, but it's so efficient because we are not based on a communication strategy, but also a handmade service, a very personalized service in order to find really solutions for the challenges expressed. In 2018, we expressed 8 challenges from 6 companies, 6 local companies, and we find 10 possible solutions for them with a match between solutions and challenges, and then the look for the connection, no? And then more or less, this is more or less the scale of our program. But in near 4 years, we can mobilize around 100 solutions for 22 companies. Some success case of our experience. This is a case that I like very much because it's very related with our specialization in agri-food and how our university goes to an enterprise, a startup, and the startup impact in the regional medium industry. This is a case of a medium industry, Veravic. Veravic is a company of chicken manufacture, chicken processing, no, chicken meat processing, and they had a problem because of the illness of the chickens in the stabulation. I don't know how it's in English, no, where the chicken are growing up, no. So they had many problems because they had to decrease drugs treatments because of the normative, no. The antibiotics is forbidden in human consume meat. So the meat industry need to eliminate antibiotics from the treatments of the animals. On the other side, we had Ingulados. Ingulados is a company, a spin-off of veterinary faculty in our university. It's a very research-intensive company. They are near 10 PhD employees. This is an indicator about the science component of this company, and they were working about this drug elimination from big animals in the dehesa, in the extensive farming, and they were working in new feed with probiotic and postbiotic in order to foster the immunologic system of the animals and to do them more resistant from the illness or the infections processes, no. So they solve the challenges with a new product, a new feed. It's an additive probiotic for the feed of the chicken in order to improve the microbiota of the chickens, no. As a result of this match between a medium company and a startup, they develop a joint project, a joint R&D project, financed by our regional R&D grants, and then the medium company solve the problem, and then this company has another company, a filial company for chicken feed. So this is a new insume for this company of feed product, and then the startup open a new market, a new business line, no, a new business segment of the market, no. So this is I think that this is the success case. Equal than this success case, we have another one. We have another company that is working with a multinational company of plastic, for instance, looking for solutions of transparency. No, they have developed a new machine for transparency of the plastic. No, for evaluating the quality of plastic production. Or we have another related with the energy, another related with new materials, new raw materials from circular economy, or we have new solutions for reducing the environmental impact of electrical infrastructures. So we have many cases of connection and solutions find it around. And from these success cases, we have many tips, many lessons learned about open innovation strategies or open innovation programs. The first one is that communication strategy is not enough. This is a handmade process. This is a service. This is a service, a very personalized service where our team has to phone every company and has to look through internet and through the network we belong to for solutions around Europe in order to really get at least 3 solutions for each challenge expresses. This is a commitment. It's a commitment with the companies. We are going to look for at least 3 solutions for you in order you can choose the best one for you. The second one is that these solutions are not only in a startup, are not commercial solutions, but in research group and tech institutes. And when the solution is in a research group or in a tech institute, you have to intermediate the technology transfer process, because it's not automatic, and you have to create an R&D project in order the solution became a reality, because it's not a reality that you can buy in the market. No, you have to construct the environment or the project where the solutions could be a reality. The third one is that open is open. We can't do a regional open innovation program, at least in Extremadura. Extremadura, as I said, is a small region in terms of critical mass. So we cannot manage only a regional program, because probably we can't find challenges enough or solutions enough. So we have to do an open program where companies that have interest in Extremadura, but the decisions are taken in other regions, express the challenges to our community. And if we can't find the solution in our community, we have to go abroad looking for the solution for our usuaries or users of beneficiaries. No, the fourth one is that a challenge is not an order. A challenge is an strategic vision shared with the all the community. And the first thing we have to do with small and medium industries or industrial companies is train them on how to express the challenge, because usually the staff or the direction of innovation of these companies cannot express a challenge. A challenge has to be wide enough in order to receive a wide spectrum of solutions. If you are looking for a commercial solution, you don't need an open innovation program. You need a very good guide or catalog of solutions, commercial solution in a sector. No, so you have to go to a fair, but not to an open innovation program or challenge. No, the fifth one is the result of an open innovation process is not a commercial product. As a consequence of the before one, the solution is not a commercial product, but a technological alliance, a joint research and development project, or at most a prototype, a pilot, a proof of concept. So this sometimes generates problems in the matching, no? Because when you are hiring or when you are contracting a pilot or a proof of concept, you can ask to this prototype the confidence or the security of a commercial product. You have to accept the file, because sometimes this kind of solutions doesn't work every time. Only works in some conditions. And if you want to scale or you want to establish the solution, you have to pay and you have to evaluate to to go together into an evolution of the new product or the new opportunity for development. The sixth one is the relationship between a big company and a tech start must be balanced, because if a big company can scale up and start up, but they can kill and start up, success kill, you can die because of a success, so you have to do an investment in the new company if you think that the knowledge and the capabilities of this small startup is interesting for you. You have to care your new provider, your new provider. This is not is a new product in a new company, so the relationship must be balanced, and the last one is that the agreement. The agreement sometimes requires a mediation and support from us. The service is not end with the matching, but also after the matching, you have to intermediate the negotiation, the negotiation between both parts in order to establish some critical aspect as the industrial property of the solution, the exclusivity of the solution, the contributions of both parts, and what is the budget and the scope of the pilot, And this is our contribution to this webinar. I hope this is interesting for you, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Paco. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing your vision about open innovation and about the EU ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, and for all the good example and the tips you provided. It was really rich. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. So, and now we are going to hear Laura to present what they are doing in Lazio Innova. Thanks, Laura. The floor is yours now.
Thank you, Valerie, and good morning, everybody. Today, I will share my experience as innovation specialist within Lazio Innova, which is the innovation agency of the Lazio region, concerning open innovation, a specific open innovation program we designed for the Lazio region ecosystem. So my presentation is focused on this instrument, which was created in 2015. And I will explain in details how it works, and I will give you some buzzwords based on our experience that can help you understand what it means doing open innovation within our regional ecosystem. Unfortunately, I could not make real examples because we sign NDAs with large corporate and startups when we go through an open innovation challenge process, but I'm sure I can keep, let's say, I could give in any case some advices. So as I told before, we started in almost 7 years ago with this, the shaping of this instrument, and because everyone was talking about open innovation at the time. Actually, in Italy, maybe we were starting talking about open innovation in 2015. So everyone spoke about that, but no one knows really how to do it. So in Lazio region, we decided to study in depth the regional ecosystem, and then to shape and adopt open innovation instrument to facilitate innovation matching. So innovation matching between innovation offer and innovation demand from large corporate with startups and innovators of the ecosystem. So basically, we decided that in order to be able to offer a real market to innovators who decided to to apply to Open Innovation Challenges, we wanted just large corporates or medium corporates or large public authorities to be, let's say, the godmother of the challenges. So who can actually still today respond to the innovation need launched by innovation requests launched by the godmothers are innovative startups, micro, small and medium enterprises, or informal teams, university departments and research and the research institute. But it depends on the object of the challenge. Because not all the challenges are the same, technology intensity is not the same, and the innovation need requested as a different intensity. So every challenge is per se. The challenge works basically like this. We identify 5 main steps. The first one is the awareness process, during which we identify and define the innovation needs together with the godmother. Then we can launch the Open Innovation Challenge call for proposal on our website. Each single challenge has a dedicated landing page where applicants can apply online directly. And we then have a massive promotion online and offline, and then the scouting activities in order to discover who can really participate, could be interested in participating to this challenge. Then we have at the closure of the call, we have the selection of the best solution, and usually we choose up to 6 solutions proposed by startups or teams or medium companies. And then those 6 can participate to the core of the Open Innovation Challenge process which is the mentorship program, which is aimed at fine-tuning the proposed solution according to the innovation needs of the godmother company. Then we have the Innovation Day, which is the last step. Innovation Day, where the selected solution through a pitch present their ideas, and on that very day an advisory board select the best solution, and the first one is awarded with a prize money which can be of 10,000 euros or 20,000 euros. It depends on the technological intensity of the challenge. And then the first 3 in the ranking can get specific consultancy service in order to fine-tune the solutions. Yes. So after the Innovation Day, actually, and learning by doing, so after a lot of challenges already launched, we are now at the 23rd Open Innovation Challenge launched in the Lazio region ecosystem. We find out that we were missing something. So we were really missing the opportunity to give concrete chance to winners of the challenge to work with the corporates. So beyond the prize money, we added another phase, which you can see on this timeline with the number 6, which is the co-design. So with the first 3 in the ranking of the Innovation Day, we created this path where companies can work again with mentors and experts from the corporate to launch the challenge, with the only aim to close a POC, a proof of concept, and to arrive, hopefully, of course, to a real commercial agreement. So to arrive in the end to a real open innovation result. Next one, Valerie, please. And so, as you can see, as I told before, we already launched more than, next one. It went back. Okay. We already launched more than 22 open innovation challenges in the last 5 years. We received more than 300 applications, and we offer this mentorship program to more than 130 between startups and informal teams or medium companies. And in the end, we have 2 post-challenge co-design delivered, with 5 POC finalized and 2 contracts closed so far with corporates. So next one, Valerie. Sorry. Okay, so I will be, I think I was very long, so I will be very, I will go faster through this, which are my buzzwords for our open innovation experience. So in the phase of the setting up of the challenge, we needed to work with people with the right mindset in the corporate we are working with. We need to be transparent. We have to be clear in the objective, in the expected results, and in possible constraints with the corporate, because we need to know our limits and what we cannot do with an open innovation challenge, but what we have to do. So we have to be, we need to have trust, which is the greatest friend of open innovation. Next one, please. In the second phase, so the open call, the crucial aspect is the scouting. So the first buzzword is look for just the right channels to identify potential applicants, then go in depth. So organize, if necessary, webinars when the call for proposal is still open, in order to give to applicants insights, more insights, and to understand better what the corporate would like to have with the challenge. And then look for again, because scouting is the crucial aspect of the challenge. Next one, please, Valerie. And for the mentorship, I told you before, this is the core of the Open Innovation Challenge. And this is the part in which the corporate puts the major efforts in terms of human resources, because I forgot to say that this whole program costs 0 for a corporate or for potential innovators. And this is something which in our regional innovators landscape from private partners, it is a program which private partners, similar programs can be sold to corporates for 50 to 80K. So it is a lot of money behind, but to corporates we only ask for efforts in human resources. So during the mentorship we need the engagement of the right mentors and a real effort in following the startups in the development of the solution, and then big collaborations among mentors and innovators. Next one. And the Innovation Day, before COVID, actually, Innovation Day were inspirational events. We used those appointments to invite inspirational speakers, testimonials, because we like to create a really inspiring events on the sector, on the theme and of the market that was dealing with the challenge. And then innovators that during the Innovation Day, the unique occasion to present the results of the work done to potential clients, and then hoping to win. Yeah. Next one. Okay, this is we can jump this because it's basically what I said about the co-design. So it is time to make the deal, and then this is just something to laugh. No innovation theater, because this means to try to make to pretend to make open innovation without arriving to concrete results. So with the co-design, we thought, oh, maybe we are making just innovation theater. So let's become concrete. And then I think, I mean, the presentation is longer. You can go ahead, but I don't know if we have time. Valerie, you tell me.
At least you can talk about your three key buzzwords if you want.
Okay. Yes, of course. Well, it's a bit fun actually. In my opinion, what it works when you try to make open innovation activities, you need serendipity, so unexpected good luck. Of course, behind all these buzzwords, there are stories. Which, if someone would like to know the stories, because there is not a lot of time to tell them now, you can ask me, you can write me an email, and I can tell you. The second one is failure, which is the mantra of Silicon Valley, which is not so well accepted in Italy. The concept of failure is not so good, and I think it's the same maybe in France and in the other European countries. But failure is necessary. And then creativity. The last one is creativity with David Bowie, which was a genius beyond music. And again, the last thing which I can say, really the last but not the least, if you go ahead, is with the next slide. Is that people makes the difference in any occasion. This person, Brian Acton, was these are some tweets from this guy. Who applied, make an interview to Twitter in the other slide. Several months later, he made the same with Facebook, and he was turned down. But in the end, who this guy was? He was the creator of WhatsApp. So 5 years later, later than the interview, this time, WhatsApp, his company was acquired by Facebook for 19 billion. So what is what is the story at the end is that people make the difference in anything you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Laura, for your presentation. So I hope everyone enjoyed this webinar today. Thanks for being with us, and thanks to all our 6 speakers for their very interesting presentation. And so do not hesitate to come back to the speakers or to ourselves if you have any questions.